everyone, so I'm Zoe from First Great Pond and Beavers, and now I'm going to show you how to make orange cakes. So the first thing you need to do is to preheat your oven. Adults may need to help with this. So it is either gas mark 3, 140 for a fan oven or 160 for a normal oven. So once you've got your oven on, the next thing you need to do is your tray. So I'm using just a silicone one, but you can use an all metal one. So I've got nice silver cupcake cases there. Slide them in, not all the way to the bottom, because then when you put your mix in, they'll drop further down then. So there we go.
Go.
Okay, so now we're going to start making our cake. So I've got all of my ingredients weighed out. Don't panic if you haven't got a set of scales. Spoon cylinder to this size. One rounded spoonful is 25 grams. So I've got my 100 grams of all my ingredients, which is sugar, marge and flour. This does also weigh exactly the same weight as your 2 eggs. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to zest your orange. I've got freshly juiced orange there, and I've got a small zester here, and all you need to do, most cheese graters do have a zester as well, as you can see. It's the spiky side, so there is a small one and a large one, not on all but on most cheese graters. What you need to do is run your orange across your zester, not too deep because you want to leave the white behind, which is the pith, and all you want is the actual orange.
Go.
Okay, so this is the colour that you're looking for. Once you've got to that stage, you're going to cut your orange in half. Now you can start by squeezing it, but the best way to get all of the juice out is with a fork. So again, adults may need to help with this. And you're just twisting it in to get all of the juice out. Do be careful of the seeds and the pips, because obviously we don't want them going into our cake. So as you can see, I've now got all of my juice out. Another thing you need to be careful of is not poking the fork all the way through and stabbing yourself in the hand. I don't want anybody getting injured.
Go.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cream our sugar and our marge. So in my mixing bowl, I've got my sugar and my marge. So I'm using a big fork. You can use a whisk, but I always find it easier with a fork. And all you need to do is basically squish your marge into your sugar till it's all mixed. And the colour you want is so it looks like cream, hence why it's called creaming.
Go.
So about halfway, I've got all of my sugar mixed in. But I'm going to keep going so we get it nice and pale. So this is where all of your air is being beaten into your cake mix. I know it's right at the beginning, but this is an important section.
Go.
So our next step is to add our zest that we did earlier. So the reason we're adding it now is so that it gets nice and mixed in as we're mixing in the rest of the ingredients. So at this stage we're also going to add our orange juice. We're going to mix that in. Obviously this will make our mix slightly watery, but that's fine because we're going to be adding our flour in a second. So there we go, as you can see it is slightly watery, but that's fine. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our flour and our eggs little bit by little bit. So we'll start off with 2 spoonfuls of flour. We'll mix that in first and then we'll crack our eggs. So that's that bit started to be mixed in. We're now going to crack our eggs. Again, if you do get shell in it, it's not a big problem, you can just squish it out. Obviously, if you do get egg on your hands, this is the time that you can then re-wash your hands. So add a small amount of our egg.
Go.
So we're just going to add our last little bit of egg. So with your eggs, I should have said a minute ago, break your eggs first. Where I'm used to working in a kitchen, you normally just break them straight into the bowl. But it is best to break them first, so then you can break the yolk. My last little bit of egg mixed in, and my last little bit of flour. So when we're mixing our egg and flour in, you're going to want to be nice and gentle with it, so you're going to be folding it, so sweeping round the bowl and over. So we're not beating out all of our air that we put in at the beginning in our butter and our sugar. So you've also got to be careful that you don't get any flour lumps left. If you do, you can just press them against the side and they'll break up, and then you can carry on mixing them in. So another thing you've got to be careful of is pockets of flour. So that's why we're going to be folding them in, sweeping around the edge and over. Every so often do a sweep across the middle so you get that mixed in as well. So here we go. We've got our nice smooth consistency of flour and cake mix. There's a small pocket of flour just there. We just mix that back in. So I've made sure I've got no pockets left. I have now switched to a spoon because we are now ready to put them into our cupcake cases that we put on our tray earlier. You want to fill your cases about half full. Okay, obviously you can put this into a normal size cake tin, roughly 6 to 8 inches, which is about 20 centimetres. I wouldn't go any bigger. If you want to make a sandwich cake, like a more of a Victoria sponge with a filling in the middle, you will need to make this twice.
Go.
Now, as you can see, my cupcake cases are nice and full, so I'm now going to put this in the oven. Again, the oven is going to be very hot, so an adult may need to put these in for you and leave them for about 20 minutes.
Go.
So I've got some mix left. I'm not sure if it's because I've used slightly smaller cupcake cases than the recipe said, but those were the ones that I could buy. So I'm going to carry on filling my tray, my second tray, but you can leave it in the fridge and put it in the same tray that you've just used. What we're going to need to do now is, obviously with an adult helping us, because this is extremely hot, is check that these are done. What we're going to do is gently poke the top, and as you can see it springs back. That means these are done. Okay, so whilst these are still hot, we're going to put a little bit of our topping on just on 2 of them. So I've grated some dark chocolate, so you can do it with whatever chocolate you like. So whilst they're still warm, we're just going to sprinkle it on the top. And then I've made some chocolate peel knots, and all I did was, with the grater on the chunky side, slide the orange down whilst it's still got all of its peel before you take the zest off, and then just tie a normal overhand knot in it, and that sits on the top just like that. The other one, whilst it's hot, is just a little bit of granulated sugar and a little bit of orange juice. So first of all, we're going to dribble our orange juice on the top. And then we're going to sprinkle our granulated sugar, and it creates a little bit of a caramel. Because they're still hot, it melts the sugar, and we'll let the rest cool down.
Good.
So now these have cooled down, I'm going to decorate them on their tops. So I've made a little bit of icing. So I just made it with icing sugar and orange juice. So we're just going to put a little bit on the top, and then we can spread it around so that it's all covered. Obviously the icing does stick to your spoon. There we go. The next one, what we're going to do is, I've just got some chocolate spread. I'm just going to put that on the top. have chocolate and orange cupcakes. And the third one, what I've done is I've cut the centre out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of chocolate spread just in the middle as a core. And then with the bit that you've taken out from the centre, you're going to want to cut this just that you've only got the top. And then once you've got your chocolate spread in the middle, place it back on top. And the bit that you cut out is Chef's Perks. So you can always leave them plain, but here are my 6 orange cakes. And that's it, that's how you make orange cakes. Have fun, guys.